Fleet Commander Zarthek of the Nexus Syndicate reviewed the final attack vectors on his flagship Inevitable Victory, confidence radiating through his chitinous frame. Behind him stretched the largest invasion force in Syndicate history, 12,000 warships carrying the combined military might of 7 conquered star systems. Earth, the troublesome human homeworld, would finally be reduced to cosmic dust. "Commander," reported Tactical Officer Velnash, "we have achieved optimal formation. Target acquisition confirms the third planet maintains the same primitive defense grid. Orbital platforms, chemical propulsion vessels, electromagnetic barriers, nothing that could threaten even a single Syndicate cruiser." Zarthek's mandibles clicked with satisfaction. Human technology was laughably backward. Their fastest ships moved at barely 3% light speed. Their energy weapons were fusion-based antiques, and their defensive strategies were depressingly predictable. This would be the easiest conquest in Syndicate history. Long-range sensors show no human presence beyond their 4th planetary orbit, Velnash continued. The red planet Mars appears to contain only automated mining operations. No defensive installations, no military presence. We shall sweep past it without resistance and be at Earth's doorstep within 6 hours. "Begin final approach," Zarthek commanded. "Signal all battle groups to maintain formation. Let us end this quickly." The massive Armada accelerated toward the inner solar system, each ship bristling with quantum torpedo launchers, plasma beam arrays, and shield breaker missiles. 12,000 vessels moving in perfect synchronization, a display of power that had broken the will of countless civilizations before they even fired a shot. But as the fleet crossed the orbital distance of Mars, something impossible happened. The lead squadron simply vanished. Not destroyed, not disabled, erased. One moment, 300 Syndicate dreadnoughts were visible on every sensor and tactical display. The next moment, they had never existed at all. "Report." Zarthek barked, his confidence evaporating like morning frost. "Commander," Velnash's voice trembled with confusion. "Sensors show no weapon discharge, no energy signatures, no debris field. The lead squadron has simply ceased to exist." Before Zarthek could respond, more ships began disappearing. Not in groups or formations, but seemingly at random throughout the fleet. A cruiser here, a destroyer there, entire battle groups vanishing without trace or explanation. "Emergency defensive maneuvers," Zarthek commanded. "All ships, evasive action." But evasive action required knowing what to evade. The Syndicate fleet found itself fighting an enemy that left no signatures, launched no visible attacks, and operated according to principles that defied every law of physics. The communication channels filled with panicked reports from surviving ships. "Battle Group 7 has vanished. My escort destroyers just stopped existing. Commander, reality itself seems to be malfunctioning." Within minutes, the 12,000 ship Armada had been reduced to fewer than 100 vessels, all clustered around Zarthek's flagship in a desperate defensive formation that protected them from nothing they could identify. Then the human transmission came. A middle-aged woman appeared on the main screen, sitting in what appeared to be a comfortable office chair with a cup of coffee in her hands. Behind her, through a window, Zarthek could see Earth impossibly far away, yet somehow observing them in real time. "This is Admiral Rebecca Torres, Earth Defense Command," the woman said calmly. "I'm afraid your invasion is being terminated." Zarthek leaned forward, desperation creeping into his voice. "Human Torres, what weapons are you using? How are you destroying our ships?" Admiral Torres took a sip of her coffee and smiled sadly. "We're not destroying them, Commander. We're editing them out of existence. About 30 years ago, we discovered that reality operates on something similar to quantum information theory. Everything that exists, matter, Energy, consciousness is essentially data in a cosmic database. More ships vanished from Zarthek's fleet as she spoke. And like any database, reality can be edited if you know the right access codes. That's impossible, Zarthek protested, watching his remaining cruisers fade from existence. Matter cannot simply be deleted. You're thinking too conventionally, Admiral Torres replied. Matter isn't being deleted, it's being retroactively never created. We're accessing the universal information matrix and removing the data entries that describe your ships. As far as reality is concerned, they never existed in the first place. Zarthek felt a chill run through his exoskeleton. How did you acquire such technology? We didn't acquire it, Torres explained. We developed it. Humans have always been good at finding creative solutions to impossible problems. When we realized the universe was essentially a very large computer simulation, we taught ourselves programming. The tactical display showed only 7 ships remaining from the vast Armada. Around Zarthek's flagship, his last escorts were winking out of existence one by one. The interesting thing about reality programming, Admiral Torres continued, is that it works at any distance. Your fleet was edited out of existence while it was still approaching Mars. From our perspective, you never made it past the asteroid belt. Zarthek's ship shuddered as fundamental forces began to question its right to exist. Wait, he pleaded. We surrender. We will withdraw immediately. Admiral Torres considered this. The problem with surrender, Commander, is that according to our edited version of reality, you never actually invaded. Your fleet never existed, your war never happened, and this conversation is just a quantum echo that will fade shortly. But I'm still here, Zarthek said desperately. I still remember everything. Memories are just information too, Torres replied gently. Though I suppose we could leave you with the memory as a learning experience. Consider it a reminder that some species have moved beyond conventional warfare entirely. The inevitable victory began to fade at the edges, its hull becoming translucent as reality lost track of its specifications. But instead of terror, Zarthek felt a strange peace settle over him. The memory of his conversation with Admiral Torres would remain, but everything else, the invasion, the fleet, the war itself, would be relegated to the realm of things that had never happened. One last question he managed to ask as his flagship dissolved around him. How many other species know about reality programming? Admiral Torres smiled. Just us so far. Turns out, most civilizations are too focused on building bigger weapons to notice that the universe runs on editable code. We figured it out because we've always been good at debugging. As the last traces of the Syndicate invasion fleet faded from existence, Admiral Torres finished her coffee and returned to reviewing Earth's updated defense protocols. According to the official records, no alien invasion had ever approached the solar system. Reality had been retroactively corrected, and the universe continued operating according to its newly edited parameters. The only evidence that anything had happened was Admiral Torres' memory of a pleasant conversation with an alien commander who had learned, albeit briefly, what it meant to exist at the mercy of beings who treated the fundamental laws of reality as merely another form of software to be optimized.